Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dan Rossett, and if you're just tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so this will be my second interactive session on YouTube and I'm excited. Thank you for your reviews. A lot of people say we should stick to Instagram, some others say we should stick to YouTube, so I'm just going to be doing a bit of both, sometimes Instagram, sometimes I'll refer you guys to YouTube. So let's dive in. So I shared two topics here. One was last 2 weeks and the other one was just day for yesterday, either way. So I'm just going to, the first one was, the topic was share lessons you learned that probably hurt you but was necessary for you. And the first of my list, so I was able to jot a bit for the first one here. And the first question we have is, I have been in love with someone for 7 years and we're about to get married, but unfortunately I am AS and he's AS. Initially when we checked, he was AA. What could possibly be the problem? Because I'm heartbroken. So okay, this might sound very funny here, but I have a friend of mine who had this exact situation. He thought he was AA. I mean, initially when he did his checkup, he was AA, and then when he was trying to settle down, eventually he started, like, all of a sudden test results showing that he's AS, and he's confused because his fiancé to be to his AS. And I think I kind of understand how you feel, and I know it's not going to be easy for you because this is somebody you've invested so much in. I mean, 7 years is quite a long time. It's like you guys are literally married in your head already. And my advice would be, I feel like you could do 2 other different tests, like do it in different clinics, and if it comes back that he's AS, then I mean, I'm just sorry that, sometimes maybe all these things happen for you to just find love, for you to experience love. Sometimes, I don't know, it's weird that I say these things, but I feel like most people might not necessarily end up with person that they really love, but whoever you end up with, that person is your soulmate. I don't know if it makes sense, but in my head it just makes sense. So it's like I love this person so deeply, so much, but based on things I can't control, some things that are out of my control, I couldn't end up with that person. But the person I ended up with is because God sent that person to me, and because that person is my soulmate. So at the end of the day, it could be one of these things where you just get to experience love. You get to, maybe that's the person that taught you what love was meant to be or what love is, and for that you'll be able to welcome such ideas and everything. So in all of this, I feel like you should be grateful, and I know you'll be hurting, but there might be a reason for everything that has happened. If you guys have any more suggestions for her, please drop it in the comment section. So the second one is getting attached to friends, always giving more than I received, never again. My dear, we all can relate. Everybody has had their fair share of friendships, where you trust somebody, the person breaks your trust, where you tell somebody so many things about you, and the minute you guys are like not in good terms, you guys just go and you start downloading the whole of the person's history. We've all had our fair shares of it, and giving more than you receive. Like for me, it's, my dear, like when you do things because of God. Because if you follow human being, I feel like you just be disappointed in how human mind works. You get me? So instead of you getting disappointed about how you give love but you receive everything back, just do it because you're doing it for God. Because at the end of the day, like how I look at life is, when I do something, I feel like I'm human. Sometimes I'll feel like, oh, but I did this for this person, should come true for me. Yeah, it's a normal feeling. But if you put it in the back of your head that when you do something, you do it because of God and not because of human beings, because at the end of the day, somebody that you cared for, you did everything for, can come out and be ungrateful, can come out and be anything. And really, nobody owes you shit in this life or in this world. Do you get me? But it's just what it is. Like, it's just what it is. I don't know. So you saying you've not, like, you always give more than, I feel like they're just lessons we learn, and it's part of growth. It's part of growth here. Next one is, I now understand the value of believing in yourself after failing twice. This for me is what life is all about. You have to learn and unlearn certain things, and I'm glad that you can finally say you understand the value of believing in yourself, because it took me a while to actually start believing in myself. I mean, I still struggle, but I am much better, and that's me growing and that's me learning things. I can't compare the Diane of 18 to the Diane of 24, almost 25 in 2 months time. So yeah, it's just, you just get to learn things, and the more you believe in yourself, the more you understand that, why was I scared all this time? I mean, I got this shit. I always had this shit in me, so why am I actually scared? So it's a good thing that you believe in yourself, and I'm glad that you had to fail to understand this thing. So I'm sure that next time you believe in yourself and you succeed beyond your expectations. I love you, and I'll pray for you. Mwah. The next is okay, so next is, well, for me, the lesson I learned was never to invest all your savings, all your earnings, because you could probably do 10% or 20%, not all, because nothing is guaranteed. Okay, so basically you are saying when you earn something, you shouldn't put all of it into it. You should put at least 20% or 10%, because nothing is guaranteed, and it's true. So for me, it's a bit of both, you get me? If I believe in something and I put in all my investment, all my whatever, it could go both ways. In business, in life, everything is a risk, you get me? So sometimes you just have to know that, okay, this risk I'm taking, if it doesn't go as planned, the repercussions, would I regret it, or I would just know that I decided to do these things? And to be very honest, I feel like I'm in that kind of a situation presently, and most times I just like go to God and trust God. And you would ask people for advice, you'd be like, okay, you even call, like me, I've called like 2 of my good friends, and then my mom and my aunt, and then I've asked for advice, and I'm like, okay, I need you to tell me if what I'm doing is right. Do you feel convinced that I should do this? And it's scary most times. It's really scary, because when it goes south, I mean, like, you're on your own because you decided it. And sometimes, what if it now happens that it's now much more than you even imagine? What if you do that investment and then everything you hope for, it just works out exactly or even more than you even planned? Like, everything is going, and you're even like, your interest rate is more than what you invested. So it could go both ways, but I get what you're saying, because honestly, sometimes you don't want to spend all your savings, and so it's just like, if you weigh the situation, it's a bit of both, you get me? So, but yeah, I get what you're saying, because yeah, so probably lesson learned, because it didn't go for you as well as you planned. And yeah, hopefully maybe I too can pick up some advice from you. Thank you so much for sharing. The next one, it was my brand unveiling, and my friends, I got zero support from them, and that hurt me because I cried. So I'm going to try to look at it from 2 points here. Okay, no one owes you anything. No one, nobody. They are your friends, yes, I get it, and most times we want our friends to be the first people to support us, but sometimes, you know, they don't. And are they bad? No, they are not. It's just not everybody. So it's a question of, do you also support your friend? Like, did you even, you know, some people will be like, she didn't support me, so I'm not going to support her. Yeah, there are some people like that, and I don't know if it's bad or it's good. It's just, that's how they are. Do you get me? And not everybody's going to be like you. So what if you just support people and don't expect anything in return? And most times I feel like your clients are not even your friends. They would be people, like, would be strangers, total people that actually believe in your vision. Most times the people that actually believe, funny thing is, for me, most of the time what happens to me is, the people that believe in me are not even my friends. The people that believe in me are people that I've never met. Maybe I could just meet this person for the very first time, and then they hear me speak and they hear me talk, and they're like, oh my gosh, I see something in you, and I'm like, bruh, you just met me. But the confidence that they will use to tell you about why and what they see in you, man, that feeling, nothing beats it. So you could just forget about the friends. I mean, they are important in our lives and we wish our friends to support us, but if they don't, it doesn't mean that they hate you or not. I don't know, but I just do not even pay attention to it. You get me? Sometimes you don't need them to be clapping for you because there are thousands of people. I mean, in a world full of millions and billions of people, you have a whole crowd clapping for you, and eventually you meet people that would celebrate you. And I pray for you that honestly God allows your destiny helpers to locate you, because it might not be your friends, it might be a complete total stranger, but God will uplift you regardless. Next one is, I learned never to trust any family relative. I was gang raped by my own uncles and some other family members. You know, when I read this, I mean, I think I even had to go post it on Instagram, like on my Instagram story, and I'm like shocked about, it's like watching a movie where you just think, and then when I say this thing, watching a movie, and then I realized that, this is why we make movies, because it's a reality of things that people think do not happen, but it actually does happen. Imagine she was gang raped by her uncles and some other family members. Do you understand how difficult it will be for her to trust people? I mean, if your family members could do this to you, how do you even relate with strangers? I cannot even begin to imagine how she feels. And honestly, girl, you are strong. The fact that you can even still, I just can't understand how you feel. No matter how hard I try, I can't really understand it. And to be honest, I just pray God grants you the strength to overcome whatever challenges you are facing, and you'll be fine. And I honestly admire your courage, your strength. Thank you for sharing. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like the world is full of evil, and it's just so crazy that I'm just really sorry about what happened. Like, honestly, I'm sure of us, I don't even know what to say exactly to help you feel better. And I'm hoping that somebody here just would drop a comment that would help you, and probably you see this, but just know, like, I love you, and I pray that God strengthens you. The next one is getting married to a person I saw signs of irresponsibility, thinking he would change. Now we are divorced. So this thing called love is, I feel like when we're in love with people, we want them to be a certain type of way. We want to see the goodness in them, that we even convince ourselves that this person is good. Like, trust me, your subconscious mind just takes it, and then you believe it. And it's not a bad thing. I feel like sometimes it works, So sometimes you can believe that somebody will change, and they do change for the better, and sometimes they don't. So it's like a 50-50 thing. It doesn't mean that the fact that you trusted in it, you saw the signs, and then you still went ahead. I don't want to always like try to come here and say, okay, you saw the signs and you shouldn't have done this. Like, because I feel they tell you see the signs. Some of us have made that same thing we are saying. We have seen signs from different people, and we still stood by them. This, no matter how you try to overemphasize some of these situations, is that it has to happen to you to learn it. You get me? And not everybody can learn from other people's mistakes. Some people have to make such mistakes themselves for them to learn from. And the most important thing is that you've learned from it. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. Do you get me? It might not make sense to you right now, and I know you'll be hurting because you will blame yourself, but blaming yourself will never, ever, ever help the situation. Instead, it just puts you more into a depressed state, and you just start feeling sad. So instead of blaming yourself, I feel like you should just be thankful that you got to experience, because at that point in time you were able to love somebody the right way, and I feel like that counts. There are some people that have lived their life and they've never get to experience love. They've never even get to love somebody, but the fact you were able to experience that, I feel like you should just count the little blessings. And I'm sure there were certain things you actually learned from that person, and you'll be fine. You would be fine, and I know that God will just make things work out for you. Everything I do have to call God, because I mean, He's God. Next one is never tell your partner anything about your past. I don't know how I feel about this. So for me, I'm a very curious person. I overthink, I overanalyze. I want to ask you everything about I want to know everything about your past, all of them. I want to know. And it's not from a place of, oh, okay, I want to use it against you or anything, but I just want to understand you as a person. And because I, love you and I want to understand you. So me trying to understand your past or know what you are doing or know everything, it's just for me to get a clearer picture about the person I am with. So even if you say don't tell your partner about your past, does it mean that, okay, I don't know. It's for me, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would want to know. So it depends on your partner. Sometimes it's good. And I get where you're coming from, where you say, okay, don't tell. Maybe they will use it against you, because some people will just bring up the past and keep using it against you. Where others will just try to know how to deal with you when they're in the relationship. Maybe you've been hurt because of this triggers you. They know how best to deal with you because you've narrated your story. So it's a bit of here and there. So this is always know where you stand in people's life. This is very important, man. It's very important, because when you don't go and overemphasize yourself in somebody else's life, because you'll be thinking, oh, this person is my best friend, this person is my sister, and the person is just thinking like, that's some random chick, like I don't even know who she is. Like, so don't overanalyze yourself or overemphasize yourself importance in their life. Yeah, that happens. And not because, yeah, that's it. So we can end this one now. Okay. So thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Please let me know how you felt about this. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you. And please drop your comments if you feel like there's any advice you have for anybody out there. Please make sure they know. Thank you.